Welcome into Type Speaks, the show where I dive into the stories, struggles, and sparks of inspiration behind great design. I'm your host, Ray, and I'm going to be pulling back the curtain on the creative process, but not just the work itself, but the people who make it happen. Each episode, I sit down with a different creative mind to uncover how they think, work, and everything in between. So if you're curious about the why behind design and the stories of the people shaping our world one idea at a time, you're in the right place.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 18th episode of Type Speaks. I'm here with. What's your name?
My name is Quinns. That's the branding.
With?
That's the branding. Quinns. Yeah.
Okay.
Quentin Smith is my name for tax purposes.
Oh, I see.
Mm.
Makes sense. A lot of sense. Previously, you were on episode 415. I think. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because you could look it up, and it would come up.
I'm a returning guest
Turning guest, which is really cool.
to the family of Type Speaks.
Yeah, I've had two in the same game series because I pestered anyone's email until I could get you on. Now that could a lot. So I'm very excited to have you on.
Should we introduce me?
Introduce you? I don't have a bio for you.
That's fine. I am a YouTuber. I'm a games critic for the last 20 years. You might have seen me on. Yeah, I mean, like, I've written for Rolling Stone, I've written for the New York Times, but these days I work on YouTube because it turns out being self-employed is better than working for some other sucker. And I've done coverage of board games on card games and Shut Us Down. I've done documentaries about games and play and some really serious dark stuff and legal stuff for people who make games. Right now, I cover role-playing games for a channel called Quinns because role-playing games are secretly cool. They're coming up. If you don't think they're cool, your kids will be telling you they're cool. So that's the bet I'm making.
They're gonna be huge in like 10 years.
Well, hopefully sooner.
Oh.
But no, for real. Like there's more and more interest, like constantly. Like big actual play shows like Dimension 20 and Critical Role selling out places like Madison Square Gardens. The people who make role playing games, like Dungeons and Dragons, but also the smaller ones. People who work in that industry have described the customers as hungry. Which is an interesting adjective that I like.
Yeah, it is a huge growing industry. I like in like high school, it wasn't huge, and then now college is huge for me. Like seeing that rise was insane.
Yeah, there is this arc where, like, basically, as video games were invented, everyone's like, "Well, we never need to play board games or role playing games ever again."
And then people want to now.
Turns out that being sat around the table with your friends is dope, actually.
It's fun.
Yeah, and it's good and enriching.
It's very fun. So yesterday, you had a school talk. It was recorded and posted, I think. I don't know where.
Well, there'll maybe be a link in the description of this.
Yes, there'll be definitely a link, if I can remember. I want to talk about something specific you were talking about and brought up was, for me, interesting as a graphic designer, an upcoming person, wanting to get into kind of similar industries, was the differences in critiquing board games, video games, and then now TTRPGs, and kind of the differences between those spaces. I thought that was really interesting as someone who's kind of dipped my foot into like video games and like seeing how people critique that, especially the design behind that. And you talked about how it's a very different space to critique at TTRPGs.
Yeah, a little bit. This is all just my instinct, right? But yeah, video games, it feels like it's commercial, it's capitalistic. People tend to be making products a lot of the time. It's an industry that's super used to being reviewed. Like there is no. I'm friends with a lot of video game designers. And everyone just passes around stories of her comedically horrific Steam reviews that they get, which come in all sorts of varieties. My personal favorite is the person who's played a game that says review after 700 hours. It's like, this game blows.
I do that.
Do you really? You're part of the.
Is it a problem?
Can I swear?
Because I think that's a funny thing to do.
Oh, you're doing the shit posts.
Is it not funny?
No, it is funny, but I think
it's funny to have like 1,000 hours on Dead by Daylight and then do a thumbs down.
Well, I mean, but this is like, I do really like the kind of recurring joke in video games that I don't know if I've met anyone who's disagreed with the idea that League of Legends just makes you a worse person. Like this is so yeah. I really like that knowing awareness in in video games that like maybe these games we play for a long time are not positive, enriching things for us actually. So yeah, that's like video games. But then covering board games felt very different because board games felt like board games had the most like, and I mean this in a positive way, like energy of anything I've ever worked in. Like it's just like, obviously there are people who are not, like traditionally like male presenting uncles in board games, but they are few and far between. And but no, it just felt like a whole bunch of dads, and like warm, welcoming. Like I think about my favorite moments in board games and like real sort of maturity, I think. Like yeah, I don't know, people were very kind to me in board games. And then role-playing games though, role-playing games, and again mean this lovingly, is for the freaks. Role-playing games is like it's people who want to sit around. This is, I know role-play, I of all people know that this in role-playing games, but what role-playing games is basically who wants to sit around a table pretending to be an elf, and it's freaks. But no, it's people who are more theatrical. It's people who are sort of like interested in stories as opposed to like puzzles. And playing someone else rather than, like yeah. So and it's a lot of, and also because vitally like in role playing, there has been so little money in it for 20 years outside of Dungeons and Dragons, that the people who are making games in it tend to be making like art, because they're doing it for themselves, they're doing it for their communities, they're doing it because they have a story they want to tell, and that means that it's a trickier space for me to walk into as a reviewer and be like, this sucks, and then like I do think that is a very important service that I'm doing. I think it's very necessary for like people to improve the discoverability of role playing games, for like to make role playing games more accessible, to get to like, yeah, to shape it a little bit, or like most importantly to like take the games which I think are stellar and then ensure that the designer has a really good payday and is able to work on their next game. And yeah, and that they're able to find a fan base and a community. Yeah. So you asked me one simple question. I talked for like 8 solid minutes.
I think that was definitely a good overall answer though, because that is kind of what I wanted to talk and ask about. One of the things that I was discussing with my friend afterwards, because that part was interesting to me, like, because I guess I had never thought about it, but it kind of made sense to me. And she mentioned that she had thought that it perhaps was a little bit of a defensiveness that TTRPG players have because the space has kind of been mocked for so many years.
Oh.
Nerdness. And she thought that that could have been a part of that.
Oh, part of the negative response to your reviews. Yeah, it's there is definitely a little bit of that. Like I really do believe that as a journalist, like this is my bias, right? But to me, if you love something the most, if you're a journalist who understands the field the most, you not just should be able to make fun of it, but if you're not making fun of it, I think you and I are built different. Like if I think about, my favorite sports journalists, like I don't know, John Boyes or the people at Defector, like they know, not they don't just make their sports seem ridiculous, they know the sports are ridiculous. And that's how I operate. Like if you're reviewing video game, like what did we just talk about? Like the Dead by Daylight, like I played this for 1,000 hours, like this sucks. Like that's it. Like you got to be able to see the hobby is ridiculous. I did that for 10 years. I shut up and sit down and became the biggest board game journalist in the world. So there's that defensiveness that is there, but I think the bigger part of it is that in China, this isn't how they roleplay, but in the West, historically, the way we roleplay is to play one campaign for maybe years. I'm in a D&D, like the most common way people play role-playing games is they play D&D, and then I, with some nerves, be like, how long have you been playing? And then they're like, we've been playing for 3.5 years. I'm like, oh, because I actually think that that's a horrible, it's not horrible. If I had infinite time, I would roleplay games that way too. But the point is that it's kind of like, when people buy you maybe, hopefully, you're young enough that the video games industry has moved on. But do people still like make fun of the other console? Like if they buy a PlayStation, do they make fun of Xbox? If they're a PC gamer, do they make fun of consoles?
I generally don't know because I moved to PC, and so I'm not in that space anymore.
I truly don't think there is as much of it as it. Yeah, no, I think, but that used to be the case. It's like the people though, if they've locked in on something like D&D, they've been playing for 3.5 years, then there's just a human element. Like there's a part of human psychology which is like well, I've chosen to do this as opposed to the other kind of thing. Therefore, I'm defensive if people say that my choice is stupid. Like mentioning League earlier, if someone plays like, I don't know, Dota or like something else instead of League, then people can get aggressive and defensive, but that's how they've chosen to spend their time. So I think that is a bigger thing than like it's not me making fun of role playing in general. It's people being upset that I'm making fun of the game or the style of play that they are doing. But yeah, it's a spicy space to be part of, and my community's been amazing. But yeah, it's also spicy because I have a built-in audience, and I have funding from like doing this job for a while, and I have expertise from doing it for a while. So I showed up in role-playing games. I haven't been there long, and then I'm doing these reviews that get like 200,000 views. And I think that also is definitely a good way to rub people the wrong way. That like you've just shown up in a space. It's like,
You're like, hey, this is not good, or this is great.
yeah, right. And then people are like, but I disagree with you. Why are you the person with 200,000 views? And that's why I'm super impatient for there to be others, which will happen. Like now there's money in role playing. There'll be more journalism. With more journalism, there'll be other people that are doing high traffic reviews, and then my job gets easier because I'm not the opinion. I'm a opinion.
Yeah, you're one in a group.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about reviews because yesterday during your talked about kind of reviews.
No, do you want to? You can take another run at that, make it sound a bit more dismissive, if you know.
If that wasn't what it was supposed to be, I didn't know to call it like a speaker series.
It was a little talk. It was a little talk.
Okay, it was a big talk.
That's better. It's huge.
Okay, I'll reword that. So yesterday, at your very big and really important talk that you did,
The mayor was there.
the mayor was there. Actually, like every Auburn celebrity was there.
I know. Obi was there. I met him.
What do you know about Avi?
I know that he is maybe. I was walking in here and I spoke to the person who invited me here, faculty member Dr. Anthony Friedman, and I said, "Is Obi what Auburn is most famous for?" And she could not answer that. Is Obi the most famous?
Or most famous for football, they say.
So what I know about Obi, he's a ladies' man.
He is.
He's a tiger.
So women want him and then want to be him. That's his catchphrase.
How competitive is it to be a friend of Obi? And
well, we don't know that because you don't know who those are.
But among the like,
Obi's real.
I know. Okay, but among the drinking holes, there must be like, among the urban legends, there must be stories that are like, people being like, I almost had it. I almost.
Well, you have to, Obi to become a friend of him, you have to like take him out to dinner, really speak nicely to him.
Right. It sounds like he's quite fussy.
Not talk about Rasta Obi.
Oh, that's interesting. What are some other so Rasta Obi? Interesting. Were there some other phases that he's maybe not so proud of?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. He's really good at hiding those things.
Okay. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
No, Abi's great. He's a real tiger. He walks around campus and he's awesome.
Yeah. No, he seems cool.
It'll be a certain height.
Oh.
And to like be able to do backflips and stuff. In a costume. And then there's one photo shoot where he's in a pool, and that seems dangerous too.
Okay, great. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was a montage of someone at a furry convention asking different furries in the fursuits if they watched their fursuits and how. And it's like 90% of them are like, yeah, of course I watched this. And then 10%, that's the gross 10%. Like, why would I watch this? It cost $8,000.
Always clean. Always never dirty. At least I haven't seen him in a not great state. He wears one shirt.
Can this be if other campus radio stations, end up watching this, can this please become a recurring question of asking different colleges and universities around America, how clean is your
That would be a good question, because I heard some bad stories from some other places where you get too close and you're like, oh.
Really? Wow.
But in the hot Alabama weather.
But always clean.
Sometimes they'll be.
How did we get onto this?
I don't remember. I was talking about reviews.
Yeah. Okay.
So yesterday, I know. I figured out how we got here. I'm not gonna go over it though. But yesterday, you talked about like reviews as they relate to the product and how you have to like pick certain things to review. They have to kind of serve the review in some way.
You know how lots of influencers, the things they cover, it's because someone pays them to do it. Like that is generally how most influencers make. Well, not most, but lots of influencers make their money. And that's a really good idea because then you don't have to do what I do and choose what you cover. And choosing what you cover. Well, now like because YouTube, everyone's like second screening their videos and people really like long reviews. My business model now is like I do one review every 2 months and it's long as balls. It's like it's an hour. But the problem with that is it means you do like 5-6 reviews a year, and then like that's not many products, and so what do you cover? That sucks.
I've seen those longer videos. Like literally, I'm thinking about who I H Bomber guy and other like YouTubers that should release twice a year.
H Bomber guy, you can just refer to him as a fan of mine. That's
is he a fan here?
Harry? Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah. Can I meet him?
He's pretty cool.
Emily's in the back. Can I meet him? Thank God.
You could probably invite him.
I love his videos.
Yeah, he's great. But another example of a YouTuber who's correctly figured out is like, what if I just put out videos that are really long when I want to?
But it's interesting that shift because for so long creators were like, I have to release 10-minute videos every day, every other day, or else the algorithms are not going to want me. They're going to send me to jail or
that's how it works.
No, they're going to send you to like shadow ban jail.
Yeah.
Kind of.
There's so much of that YouTube superstition that it's awesome. It's like, don't release a video at 1 p.m. Don't do it. Oh, like, but I mean, and then you have to Google it, and then there's a bunch of YouTubers being like, yeah, that's not real. What do you?
I think it's all fake. They tell us there's an algorithm, but I think it's just random.
I think the algorithm. I have to preface this with a joke because otherwise it sounds so problematic. But the algorithm is a lie made up of people who make unpopular videos.
I have seen people say that they were shadow banned, and I just think that no one's watching it.
Yeah. Yes. There is some stuff that I do that's superstitious though. Like I heard forever ago that videos with more comments are like told more favorably by the algorithm. I mean, you've seen that on YouTube videos you like. There's some people be like commenting for the algorithm.
Well, when at the end of the videos they tell me to subscribe, to ring the bell.
Smash that.
Go in their membership.
There's no bell anymore, but yeah.
And then also comment, and then also.
Do you do those things?
And then no.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me, but when they tell me to do it, I don't want to do it. Like Markiplier never tells me to subscribe.
And then you
don't like the video, but I do because his videos are good.
Okay. Yeah. Do you pay money for any YouTube content?
No.
Do you pay for YouTube Premium?
Yes.
That's fine. I'm not. That's not a trap.
Sorry, I just around here, there's a big discussion about switching music platforms to which one to use, and I recently switched because to me it made more sense monetarily to get YouTube Premium because I watch a lot of YouTube, and you also get YouTube Music.
You know, you can get. Yeah, I have YouTube Premium Family with a bunch of close secret friends. As in, we just pay like.
I get the student discount.
$4.
So.
Okay.
I get cheaper.
But you get a bundle with. This is what we want to hear. You get a bundle with. How much does this sound like advertising content? You get a bundle with.
You can pay to say this.
No one pays me anymore. I almost got caught in a phishing scam because I got an email from Toblerone asking if I wanted to have a paid promotion. And it was a brand that, like, I get offers from brands all the time, but Toblerone specifically was so funny. I was like, I'll do this. And I came this close to clicking on the link in the email. The email was fake. It wasn't from Toblerone.
I would have gotten the chance to Toblerone as well.
Yeah.
Is it true? This is a little off topic. Is it true that like those really cheap app store games are like in every creator's inbox wanting an ad?
Yes. Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll be watching a video about someone I really respect, and they have like a Battle Blast 3D ad. And it kind of changes my opinion on them a little bit.
You do get those emails a lot. But creators got to make ends meet.
They have to make money, so I don't get too upset about it.
Yeah. Patreon's amazing. I like Patreon because I don't have to have any.
I've subscribed to Patreons before.
Oh, you are giving YouTubers money.
Oh, just even like the membership thing on YouTube.
Oh no, no one uses that. Oh. I hate. So I'm going to talk about YouTube monetization. I hate that feature, the tip jar feature on YouTube, where like because obviously like anyone, to make a living as a YouTuber, you need to make thousands of dollars a month, right? it's so weird when I'm looking through my comments and I'm only there to like try and surface interesting discussions, and there'll be someone being like, "Hey, nice video. Here you go."
It's $5.
And then no, it's like €2, and there's a little special logo with the €2. I feel so much like the feeling that gives me every time is like I am a stripper and they've pulled back the G-string and slipped the €2 note in, and then they're like, "There you go. That's for you."
To me, it just felt like on TikTok lives.
Oh, I have a song. I don't. Okay, I'm sure. Look, I have no opinion. My opinion on this is way less solid. You're talking about like the roses and
Yeah,
the
I think
the
TikTok is
blues
trying to do that
and the chicken
too.
dinners. Yeah, but it has personality on TikTok.
That's true.
But no, I'm sure TikTok sucks. I'm sure being a TikTok live creator is really grueling. But for me, as someone who just uses TikTok as a consumer, I think the fact that you tip people by giving them basically nouns with little art assets, I think that's really sweet and cool.
You put filters on them.
Oh yeah,
If you pay enough money, you can put a filter on the creator you like.
yeah.
So it's audience interaction.
Do you watch Twitch?
I do.
What do you
Let's
like?
do more.
What do you like on Twitch?
I like Minecraft long plays.
Mm-hmm.
I like builders. And I don't like them talking.
Cool.
I want them just building in like hardcore mode. So I just see the blocks building, and then sometimes they'll like curse because they almost died.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, because that would ruin things.
Because they're hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it takes a lot.
What do you like? Games journalism?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Who do you like? So in terms of like, do you like reviews? Do you like video essays? What do you like?
I'm a big video essay consumer.
Mhm.
I've always have been. I like podcasts. I also started podcasts myself. I've always just liked to listen to them behind the scenes. I used to like I was really into games in high school, but I was into games that boys liked, so I couldn't talk to boys about the games I liked. I was only into Fallout,
Okay.
and the dudes that liked Fallout near me, they wouldn't make fun of me, but like I couldn't talk about what I wanted to talk about with them about Fallout.
There were specific parts of the game that were really exciting to you.
Yes, which is like lore and all this other stuff, but they were just like, I min maxed Brotherhood of Steel.
That's not a gendered thing. That's a smart, dumb thing.
Mhm.
I think.
I don't know, but I started getting to like my first, I guess, video essays were like Fallout, like long lore explanations. I would watch those so long,
Yeah. No.
and then for a long time, I knew more about Fallout American history than real
Yeah.
because I was in my AP US history class during COVID, so I didn't learn anything. So I only learned Fallout history, and I do know American history now.
Yeah, I think about this a lot. That like, we're going through this era right now where like with the existence of DVDs, that's when literacy about how movies are made peaked, and people are so dumb about it now because when you have a DVD, you get the behind the scenes, which you obsessively watch because if you're enough of a nerd to buy a DVD of like The Matrix Reloaded, you're probably also enough of a nerd to watch the making of, and it is genuinely interesting, right?
It is.
And now obviously we have no making ofs. But what we do have in this period of history is really long lore videos. So I think right now we're at the high watermark of knowing the bullshit backstory of video games. I just finished Silk Song. I watched the real end credits of Silk Song was not the actual masterfully created end credits that were designed by Team Cherry. It was a dude talking for an hour and a half about what every boss backstory was.
Yeah.
But this is just because this is how media is right now. Like in 10 years, we'll enter a period of once again games becoming like abstract. I'm kind of for it because yeah, I think I've never really gelled with the slightly nerdy thing that like to when nerds consume media, they have to be like, well, what does it mean? And then I think I mentioned this in the talk the other day, my big talk where the mayor was that's how we got to Orby because he was there.
The mayor, Ollie.
Orby, mayor of Auburn. That's really throwing me. You piece of shit.
Talking about games being simple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, just that like art generally does not need to be understood. It's like an interpretation or it's a vibe. The famous quote from David Lynch I really like. I'm like, what do you mean by this scene? And he's like, watch the movie. That's the only. I made a statement about the movie. It's the movie. You can watch the movie. That's what I have to say about it. And when nerds absorb video games, they're like, what does this scene mean? And then The designers won't tell you because to the designers, they're just making art. But then someone on YouTube be like, oh, well, this scene is symbolic of the fact that this character does like, and it's like, and you take that to the designer and you say, is that what that scene meant? And they'll be like,
Yeah.
well, I think often media trained designers will be like, yeah, because it makes them sound smart. I have a friend who does translations for an extremely popular Japanese video game. He's the only translator, and he, when people come to him, sometimes there are mistakes in the original Japanese script. And he translates them and covers for them. And then when people who are nerds notice that there's different, the scripts are different in Japanese and English, they'll go to the Japanese designer and be like, "Did the translation team fuck up?" And the Japanese team will be like, "Yes." Yeah, I don't know. I think that when you get those people who really deep dive into lore, I think sometimes they err on the side of like, all of this has to be made sense and considered. And if you've ever spoken to any artist ever, sometimes stuff is just the way it is because it's the way it is.
Do you think that has just become a huge trend now of like games having so much lore that it's like a little bit overwhelming?
I think, yeah, no, totally. Actually, you're so right. This is like how record producers right now tell people to make their music with like a bit that can be used as a TikTok sound. I think probably, yeah, video game designers have. I mean, if you look at like something like Destiny, yeah, I think video game designers are, I hadn't connected the dots on that, but yeah, 100% they're making games with crazy, huge, rich lore.
There's so many games now. I'm seeing like the secrets behind this, or
And you see it before you even play the game, right? Yeah, and then that becomes like, oh, this lore looks interesting. Maybe I will play this game, which is wild. Yeah,
As
it's
a-
marketing.
for Resident Evil, they do what does Tyrant do off camera, and they like do all that, and it's like analyzing every single aspect of the game like so meticulously. I just don't. Maybe I was too young, but I just don't remember that being bigger before.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was way more abstract and subtle and left to interpretation. Yeah. Video games are changing. I do feel really strong. I remember having a really weird moment with when Undertale came out, because Undertale is, obviously seismically popular, but among Gen Z specifically, and but what it's referencing and riffing on is like 8-bit and 16-bit JRPGs. It's like an ironic take on that. And then when I found out that kids, like 9-year-olds, are super into it, I was like, hang on, how, why? But it turns out, like, this is to your point, like, people don't need to get the references. They can just tell when something is rich. Like, if Undertale is riffing off 8-bit RPGs, you don't need to have played them to be like, oh, I can just tell, even as a child, this game is referencing something.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like it's like touching a fabric with a really complicated texture. The humans are interested in that. That's wicked. That's cool.
Yeah. Something that is not related, but I kind of was. You mentioned children and games. I have a personal kind of question. I'm someone who's really into like horror games, stuff like that.
Oh,
and
great.
recently, I mean, actually, I got into horror through these kind of things. Like when I was younger, like FNAF going from like a horror game for adults to a horror game for children.
Wait, so you got into horror games first, then you got into Five Nights at Freddy's?
So I got into Five Nights at Freddy's, and then I got into horror games.
Okay.
But how have you seen like? There's a conversation that's happening right now in the horror game space of like a lot of games are being made for children. Horror games that's Ruby Mascot. And now are sanitized for children. I can think of Quality Basics. I can think of Garden Ban Ban, Poppy's Playtime.
Yeah. You're just naming my Steam wish list. Yeah.
Oh.
No, this is good.
But they're popular with children. Like they're in the toy section of Target. You can find Poppy's Playtime.
Well, that makes sense because I mean, at least part of the puzzle is that children are getting into this through streamers playing horror games, right? And this is a big difference between how horror games are played now. Is like, it's kind of like the TikTokification of music. It's like you want your horror game that works well on Steam is full of big jump scares, like Mortuary Assistant. Like, that's like a great game that generates a ton of moments where a streamer will be like, "Ah!" and that has really transformed. Like Garden of Banban's another example. Like Five Nights at Freddy's, it's like it's not a long game, but it's a game where when it does its big like jump scare, it's like, it reminds me of, they have, because movie studios do this. Movie studios rig heart rate monitors up to people when they're watching horror movies to see when scares are and stuff. And of all the history of horror, since records began, the movie that scares people the most is it's not The Conjuring. It's not that like universe of like, the Annabelle doll is in it. Like there's like a whole the nun.
Conjuring?
You're Conjuring, yeah. Yeah. It's one of
I
those.
released the last one recently.
Right, and there's like
That's
5 of them, right? Or something.
Or more.
Okay. Well, anyway, so one of those movies, like The Conjuring 2, statistically blasts people's hearts out their chest cavity more than anything else. More than like, I don't know, Hereditary, more than like whatever you want to name. And that's how horror games feel like to me, because they are, it's not that they're not scary, it's just that they're designed that they trend well on TikTok, on Twitch, and on short form video if they have those moments where it's like, I don't need to know the story. I can just be frightened in 5 seconds. That is a valid kind of horror. But in terms of like trends, horror back in the day, it's not like people aren't still making this, but there's way more. There's lots of really fertile ground to be covered in like slow burn horror. I'm thinking about Silent Hill 2. I'm thinking about Siren. I'm thinking about oh goodness, I was trying to remember this while you were talking about horror. Wonder if you'll know it. So it's made by. It's a game about being underwater.
Someone?
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm glad you said it.
Favorite game.
I think it's the best horror game.
It's the best horror game.
Great. Okay, but Soma's a great example because Soma and Silent Hill 2, it's like those are the games where it gets under your skin from just the terror of slowly realizing the situation you are in. I'm not going to spoil Silent Hill 2, but Silent Hill 2 is like, yeah, you could beat the weird rubber monsters, a man in a straitjacket to death with a pipe. But like the true horror of Silent Hill 2 is the gradual revelation of what you are. Soma is similar, but Soma does a ton of clever stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
I tell all my friends to play it.
I tell all my friends it's the best horror game. I met the lead designer at GDC, and as is so often the case with GDC, Game Developers Conference happens in San Francisco. It's crazy exclusive. It's politically very problematic. It costs like, if you want to go by yourself, it costs like $4,000 for a ticket. So people either go by giving there's 2 strands of people who get to GDC. People who are working for a AAA studio, so the studio can pay for that. Or you give a talk and then you get it for free. So it's like all the like talented artists who scrape by and are like, okay, everybody today I'm going to tell you how I made the music for Soma. And then there's someone who works for like, I don't know, Valve, who's just like that.
The sound design of that game is impeccable.
Soma? Yes. Well, I have a friend who is a sound designer for an unreleased game from a studio you've heard of. And yeah, horror sound design is like so important to that. But then sound design is like also I feel I have a lot of I'm weirdly friends with a lot of sound designers from video games, and I have a lot of love for them because it's like, if they do their job badly, people notice, and if they do their job beautifully, it's just a little less obvious than so they don't often get the kudos they fully deserve. But yeah, Soma's sound design, holy crap. Anyway, so the point, it's super cool that you've played it, because the point I want to make is like all those, when you say made for children horror, the distinction I see, I don't know if that's just necessarily made for children, although you're having a mascot is cool. I think when you talk about like that, having a mascot and the big frightening jump scares, I think you see that as made for children. I see that as made for immediacy, is made for Twitch and made for TikTok. And because I just don't think the slow burn horror of Soma or Silent Hill 2 or other games that I can't think about, Pathologic, I don't know. I don't think that translates as well to Twitch, because you can't watch a 5-second clip of like the slow reveal of what's happening in Soma, which it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. It is
even just what like never mind what the protagonist is going to do in Soma. This is going to sound obscure to people watching, but I just want to talk to you. I hate what the AI is doing to the people who are still alive in Soma.
Oh, it's awful.
It's so.
That was one of your like most frightening.
And it takes you a while to realize what's happening.
It's like everything about it, the situation that you're in, is horrifying.
But not in a way that it's like, oh no, it's gonna get me. It's just like you walk into a room and realize what's happening, and you're like, this sucks.
I still remember playing in like the first person in quotation marks.
I know exactly who you're talking about. The one where you have to remove pipes.
Yes. I remember being so like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
I love when horror games have a decision that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I have to do it, because that's one of the most horrifying things in any situation, is how to do something that you
don't want to do. Yeah. There's a really legendary level piece of level design from when you would have been very small. It was for one of the, oh Christ, is it Thief 3? Doesn't matter. Back when your man here was very small, and the whole game industry agreed that a game called Thief was some of the greatest level design ever. Thief 3 had a level called The Orphanage, which everyone kicked around for a while as the greatest horror thing of all time. But it's like, it's a really peculiar bit of level design that, again, wouldn't work on Twitch, because what The Orphanage is Thief is a game about being a medieval thief. And there is an orphanage where the orphanage, there was a fire inside it and it killed all the orphans, and no one has been inside this building. And you have to go in there and rob something from it. And so you're just like, how do I go in there? And the thing that's crazy about the orphanage is there are no monsters in it. You explore it, but there's a lot of like weird noises. You go through the whole house until finally you get to the very, very last room in the house where, if there's going to be something scary, it could be the long, winding, tight staircase up to a door. And you get to the door, and you just have to open the door. And like, the thing that's crazy about it is, like, lots of horror games since then have gone like, oh, I don't want to open this door, here I go. Imagine if 30 minutes built up to opening that door. Yeah, and but those 30 minutes, that's a kind of horror design, and that's what we don't have in the immediacy of like FNAF.
That was really interesting. There's backstory to that, because I teach children over the summer art camp. So I'm getting all these kids who are like kind of nerdy sometimes, and they're drawing things. Like, so many kids come in every year, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, have you seen Fleek Florp on Twitch play the Gardner Band in this, and they draw the characters, and they have all this stuff." So to me, I have this immediate reaction to like, "Oh my goodness, this is like supposed to be a spooky game that you're drawing."
But they're not. But the kids not watching Snuff FNAF play Soma.
No.
And that's a shame.
And but that streamer is also not playing solo.
Yeah, right.
They're playing these really short, like.
But that's because, like, it's, I mean, with Twitch, the business model is like, if you're scrubbing through different streamers, whatever's happening on that stream, it has to be interesting. So either has to be a game or a situation that's obviously like sketchy. Like Mortuary Assistant, the fact that like that's a game with like 2 rooms, but there's a dead body in one of them, and therefore you whenever you log onto that stream, there's you you're in a mortuary.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Soma.
That game also has very good ambiance.
Yeah, it does.
I tried to upload it. I said I tried to find out finished.
Yeah, sure.
But because it just kept spooping, like, jump scare me.
And you didn't like that?
I don't mind it. I was like, all right, man.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, right. It's once you realize that it's just gonna jump at you. That's the joy of slow run horror, where it's like you don't know what it's gonna do, because what's gonna do is basically make you realize something, and that could be anything. That's really unpleasant.
Yeah, I always say, I don't know. I just connect those things with children because of these mascots.
Yeah, that's cool. I think you're right. I think you're right. I mean, I didn't connect the two. Yeah, it is like having something that kids can latch onto. It's the skibbity toilet.
Yeah, I still don't really know what that is.
It's a series of videos.
Is it a video series?
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll show you after this.
I don't want that.
But you need to, as a journalist, you have to become relevant, and you have to. Hey, one of my favorite. Am I allowed to drop that F-bomb on this?
Sure.
the long-suffering nature of what you said. Sugar. Who's the guy who wrote? Em will know this. Who's the guy who wrote Neuromancer? William Gibson. Yeah. William Gibson, who's continued to write relevant sci-fi. Usually will flame, like, you write good sci-fi for like 10, 20 years, and then you flame out into irrelevance. William Gibson's been writing stuff that has juice since Neuromancer, and his quote is, "Don't let the motherfuckers generation gap you." Like, if you want to be a writer or a creator or like commenter. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you Skibbity Toilet.
I find Skibbity Toilet very interesting in a design.
You don't know what it is.
I know visually what it is. And visually, it's Gmod. Gmod is visually taken from Half-Life models. It's Half-Life models in Gmod animated into a video series. I can't hold the game at some point.
Oh, I think it might be, but it started off as a video.
And it's a video that kids watch, and there's toilet heads, and there's a camera guy head, and then the kids at art camp yell at me.
And then you don't want to engage in it.
I don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
That's my experience with. I don't want to say it. It feels demeaning for my own self.
To say the words.
Is the words.
I didn't enjoy saying them to you a second ago, but I will. Like, let's chat about this. Something that's weird about the fact that the kids are watching Garten of Banban and Skibbity Toilet You're right. It's horrible to say. I feel like I get older every time I say it.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's bad. But okay, it's bad. Not fun. I have a real. I don't know enough about this to get truly worked up, but it's interesting that aside from I guess Nintendo, no one is truly serving children's video games. The video like children like I feel really strongly about this with like the go-to children's entertainment is Roblox, which I've done 2 documentaries on. Like Roblox is a hellscape that like Roblox is fun and I like that it's affordable, but I often make the comparison of Roblox to Sesame Street. That children's television workshop operating in the 70s and 80s, being like, hey, we want to make something that is like the pinnacle of children's television, and it's educational, and it's got a good message, and it's got cool puppets made by this Jim Henson guy who's dressing like an African for some reason, but it's the 70s, and so actually that's supportive and not problematic. Jim Henson wanted to make a nightclub.
Mhm.
You know that?
You don't want to get me on Muppets.
Okay, cool.
Did you go?
Have you seen designs of the factory?
Were you? I haven't, but when you were in Atlanta?
It was gonna have
museum.
But that peaks the mic.
Did you go to the Puppet Museum?
No.
You didn't go to the Puppet Museum.
I didn't know it was there. But this is cool.
Violence.
I can voice note my friend who showed me around Atlanta and be upset that I
Yeah, they have the Puppet Museum.
Shit.
It has Jim Henson puppets. It has international puppets. It has history of puppets. So when I went, they had a Fraggle Rock exhibit. Favorite Fraggle and Boober Fraggle.
Okay. The only reason it's good that I didn't know is that then there wouldn't be Atlanta school kid children being like, why is that British man crying in the corner of the Puppet Museum?
Yeah. So when I went, it was me and my friend.
Mm.
And it was me and our friend walking around, and then like 5 groups of preschoolers. But I love puppets. I love Muppets.
Yeah, they're great and amazing. If
I have the nightclub.
Oh, it just one of the things the nightclub was gonna. The design of Jim Henson's nightclub, as he sketched out, super cool. Like it's like a weird dome. It's really reflective. It's super trippy. It's like something out of Boston Bears, as he drew it. The thing I remember is it had like everyone's really excited about 80s or 60s conversation pits. So it had not a conversation pit, but a full circular hole in the floor, and then from that hole, a circular plinth would rise out, and on the plinth would be like a go-go dancer who's like, giving it a little this. And then at some point you would be lowered back into the ground. I think this, I could be inventing this. This could be psychosis, but I think that I remember seeing it on a sketch. Anyway, never mind Jim Henson's nightclub. I'm not going to skew his character anymore. I only even make fun of him because he's like the greatest human alive. Yeah, so Sesame Street is this like all these great like some of the greatest like artists and like of a generation being brought together in like this experiment where even though there were loads of disagreements in the making of Sesame Street, specific like to do with how you educate kids and how you do it while being entertaining, and there were like great musicians who were like really uncertain about the product, being like, okay, you want me to like sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then and then you actually made like a weird ear stim for like multiple generations of kids. The point is that there was so much love and care put into that, and then when you contrast that with Roblox, it is just it's a tech company, right? It is a amoral, publicly traded company that is there to extract capital, and they, in as much as they are thought of well, that's PR and marketing, because fundamentally they are not a charity, they are not privately owned, they exist, they have a legal obligation to make money for their shareholders. There's all kinds of horrific stuff going on in Roblox, and most importantly, there is no government oversight, because I've been in communication with like British politicians and US charities and US legal groups who all want to do something about Roblox and the way it's harming kids. And obviously, if you're watching and you like Roblox, yeah, it's doing some good stuff. I'm just saying, like, it could be better. It could imagine if Roblox, it just thought experiment. Imagine if Roblox was not, publicly traded. Imagine if it was owned by a board who wanted to do right by kids rather than make as much money as possible. And what if they didn't outsource their moderation? Anyway, what if they gave more of a cut to creators because they give whatever. I've done 2 documentaries about this. when you contrast, you know what? I'm not going to rant about this any longer. The whole point that I'm making is that people, we don't have a national effort to make really great games for kids. We have Nintendo who are kind of doing it by accident. And then we have a lot of kids watching stream, and then we have Minecraft, which once again kind of happened by accident. Like, and the thing about Minecraft and Nintendo games is they are good for all ages, but they're not educational. They're not trying to, like teach kids good lessons or morals. And then, we end up like children go to Twitch, and what do they watch? They watch like horror games. And again, like it's good. I don't know. I just talked about this for a long time. My point is, it's one of those instances where like I think people in the games industry just aren't paying attention to like, it is depressing to me that lawmakers see games as part of tech, and lawmakers don't want to touch tech because they don't fully understand it, and they don't want to like legislate it. And I'm left saying crazy things like, truthfully, did you know that TikTok in China, if you're a child using TikTok, it forces you to watch some educational content every once in a while. And then they ship it over to America, and they're like, oh, obviously we don't care about American kids. And then American lawmakers are like, we don't have the educational stuff. It's not even an option. You wouldn't even discuss it. Imagine like a US politician trying to be like, for every 30 minutes of TikTok a US kid watches, there's going to be served an unskippable 5-minute TikTok that teaches that there's something relevant to the grade they are in at school, like reading, right?
I think that would also, you'd have to have kids be honest about their ages.
Yeah.
Besides,
Which I guess China is, there's a problem in China because you've got the whole like government social system that is locking you in.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I did a whole project about educational games, and there's so many studies about how great, if you give students two options of studying normally or studying with like a game somehow or gamifying their studies, they will get higher grades when they can gamify things.
Yeah, cool.
And I was doing all this research for this project because my thing was that so many educational games are so ugly.
yeah.
So many games that are made for children are ugly because my whole project, like the thesis for this was they are putting education over design when those two things, there shouldn't be an over. Like you have to communicate what you want in a way that children want to look at.
This is actually all of video game design. I'm close friends with lots of people who are like, say, video game narrative designers and writers, right? And the thing that the best, if you imagine writing for a video game, maybe you imagine writing a screenplay, you're writing dialogue. The most important thing you will ever write for a video game is documentation, which is like the document that you give to the artist, you give to the level designers, and you go, hey, this is the story we're telling. It's about making sure everyone's on the same page. Yeah. So like when you talk about like there's no over for education, you're totally right. That's actually how video games are made. It's like the sound is not more important than level design or game design or story. They're all the same. And then you just got to bring education in there. That and that's how we like. How gorgeous is Sesame Street? We can agree. How gorgeous are the Muppets? Like, but that, and then it ends up teaching people things.
Yeah.
Like,
so many kids, I think, would engage more with their studies if it was presented in ways that they would enjoy and
that actually looked cool or sounded cool.
And we just don't give them that. Unfortunately, we give them Twitch.
Yeah, because games are just thought of as like,
games are so separate from maturity.
Yeah. No, I've been like the whole story of my career is watching games slowly go from a newborn medium to like a slightly less newborn medium. And now we've got to the point where they are the defining cultural medium of a generation. That's cool. And they're still not tangled up with like the old power of like governments or lawmakers, or like they exist separate. They're like this weird part of tech that is not integrated into our society yet. And it's complicated because like I really truly believe in games as educational tools, but I don't trust or agree with all of the scholars who are like, if we just gamify everything. I think like, a teacher standing in front of a class and teaching something can be a tool, and a game can be a tool, and it's about finding the right tool for the right moment.
I want to type into a game.
Typing through a game that's good stuff. With typing at the desk?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. We had computer class in a school, primary school, smart translating.
Cool.
And you would compete with your fellow students to see who could type faster.
Nice.
And like you would type in, it would show you, and you get prizes.
Did you see that the last Steam Next Fest had a battle royale for typing?
I did not. That sounds awesome.
It's that you should totally look up videos. I can't remember the name of it, but it is it's like a first person perspective. You're at a desk in like an Orwellian society. There are 50 desks in the room. It's a full 3D model game. You're at a desk in front of a typewriter, and every desk has like a sort of Gestapo-looking cop with a gun.
Oh.
And if you can't type fast enough, you get shot.
Oh.
And then if the first player in the room of 50 people. So as you're typing, you constantly hear gunshots going off of people having made too many mistakes. You see people in the room slumping over their typewriters. It's really made for Twitch in that like you can watch 5 seconds of it and immediately see what's going on. But yeah, the terror of typing and trying not to die is super cool.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we're almost out of town, right? So you're being a watch and
I didn't know what time it was. That's why I checked my watch.
That makes sense.
Should we do one more question? Do you have one more question, or is now a good time to wrap up?
I can ask a question. I can figure one out. I'm really good at that.
I'm not. Here's a journalist and broadcaster that I know. If she was hungover and panicking, the question she would do is, what would you say is the soul of your creative work?
Oh, I'm not gonna ask that.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask, if you were a mermaid, what would your mermaid tail color be, and what would your mermaid power be?
What? Okay, I have questions.
Ask away.
What is like imagine I don't know what a mermaid power is. What's the sort of ballpark for that?
A mermaid power is a power that a mermaid has.
It's such a piece of shit.
Okay, I asked this of all of my friends, and their answer does impact our
I think. Okay, let's think about my favorite colors. Orange is way too gosh. It's too goldfish coded for a mermaid. Red is cool, but I'm not red. Blue is too much like the water already, so it's got to be green. We'll call it the shade of green. This is a nice shade of green. Yeah. So this lower half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what do you come on, graphic designer? What's the shade of green?
Emerald. Because it's pulling a little bit blue, so it's not forest. It's pulling towards emerald. It gives that blue.
My mermaid has an emerald tail, and my mermaid power is. How much dead air am I allowed to generate in the course of this question?
So I have some very interesting answers to this.
Okay.
If you love examples.
Yeah, let's go.
So of course some people are like, "Oh, I control the weather. Boring." Whatever. Some people, some like fish, was it whales? I think. They can release their waste and make like a tornado with it to get away from predators. And then this mermaid would have that power.
Right.
Who would do that?
What's your mermaid power?
My mermaid power is I get every fish around me.
This better not be the thing I was about to say.
Are all my friends, and they all fight for my glory.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say like controlling a specific kind of fish. You just picked all fish.
Yeah. And then someone else said that their mermaid power would be they would be able to point to any 2 fish and have them fall in love.
That's just okay. All right. I think my mermaid power would be basically being able to survive at incredibly deep pressures. Like I can go down to the very like way deeper than other mermaids, where like the pressures are awful and all the fish are like cursed, nasty little things. What am I doing down there?
What are you doing?
It's none of your business.
Looking at those fiber optic cables.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I would have so much. I could destroy nations. There you go. And my tail is emerald.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a really good answer.
Thanks.
You passed.
That's a relief because honestly, my palms got sweaty when you said it was going to impact our friendship.
It's a good question.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you so much for being on. Had a great time talking with you.
Pleasure. Really, really, really relieved and happy that Summer was your favorite game.
That's
such a good
I'm very happy you mentioned it because
pure green flag.
I love that game, and I refuse to uninstall it from my computer.
Because have you ever replayed it?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Multiple times.
Wow. Okay, cool.
I think I might have all the Steam achievements.
Nice.
Because I'm that kind of person.
Yeah, no, I've never done that with any game. Because I got things to do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening as well.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Take care.
Hey, thanks for listening to Type Speaks. Hope you had a good time, because I sure did. But unfortunately, the episode is over. But don't worry, you can check us out in other places. Be sure to follow the show to listen to every new episode or listen back to some old ones. Check us out on Instagram at TypeSpeaksPod. And remember, always keep creating and always stay curious. I'll see you next time. I've been Ray.